People don't stop buying bottled water because they want to. They stop because something stops making sense. At first, bottled water feels like the perfect solution. It's clean, it's convenient, it feels safe, so people rely on it. Day after day, week after week, grabbing packs from the store, loading them into the car, carrying them into the house. It becomes part of the routine. And for a while, it works. Until it doesn't. Because slowly, the cracks start to show. It begins with something small. The cost. A few dollars here, a few more there. But over time, it adds up. And what used to feel like a simple expense starts to feel like a constant drain. So people try to justify it. It's for my health. It's better than the alternative. And maybe it is. But that doesn't remove the friction. Because it's not just about money. It's about effort. The trips, the storage, the wait. You don't notice it at first. But eventually, it becomes hard to ignore. And that's when frustration builds. Because something as basic as water shouldn't feel like a logistical problem. So naturally, people start looking for alternatives. They don't jump straight into solutions. They experiment. Some try buying in bulk, larger containers, delivery services. At first, it seems like an upgrade. Less trips, more convenience. But a new issue appears. Dependency. Now you're tied to delivery schedules, availability, external supply. So while one problem gets reduced, another one takes its place. Others turn to filtration systems, which seems logical. If the issue is the source, then filtering it should solve everything. And in some ways, it helps. But then reality sets in. Installation, maintenance, replacement parts, and most importantly, cost. Because high-quality systems require investment. And not everyone is ready to commit to that. So again, people hesitate. Not because they don't want a solution, but because every option comes with trade-offs. And that's the pattern. Every attempt to fix the problem introduces a new one. Until eventually, people start questioning the approach itself. Maybe the issue isn't just which water to choose. Maybe it's how they're thinking about it. This is where the shift happens. Because instead of asking, what's the best water to buy? They start asking, how can I stop needing to buy it altogether? That question changes everything. Because now the goal isn't substitution. It's independence. And that leads people down a different path. One that doesn't rely on constant purchasing, or complex systems, but instead focuses on simplicity, control, and repeatability. Some begin exploring ways to treat water at home. Not in a complicated, technical way, but in a way that fits into everyday life. Using simple setups, accessible materials, processes that can be repeated without outside dependency. And for many, this is the first time things start to feel aligned. Because the solution finally matches the original need. Reliable water. Without constant cost. Without constant effort. The real issue isn't bottled water. It's the system around it. And once people see that, they stop trying to optimize the system, and start stepping outside of it. If you're curious how some of these approaches actually work in practice, there's a structured breakdown in the description that explores it step by step. And if you want more content that breaks down everyday problems in a practical and realistic way, consider subscribing. Because sometimes, the simplest shift in perspective changes everything.